Welcome to the fact check for my Watch Dogs Legion video. In that one I did a tour of London sharing weird and wonderful facts about all the different places in the city. But some of them were lies. In this video you'll learn what is true and what isn't. And count yourself lucky. I very nearly didn't make this video because I find it funny that people would believe everything I said in that one. Buckingham Palace. This is a place where the Queen sort of is sometimes and where lots of things happen. It's a well-known fact that, on his 10th birthday, every male child in England takes a trip here to get a picture with the Queen, after which she hands them a £5 note that he is to keep in his wallet at all times for good luck. In 2018 this was up to £10 to account for inflation, and to update the tradition to the new polymer notes. I thought I'd open up with a clearly false bit of information as a warning that I wasn't to be trusted, but apparently a lot of you believed the meetings with the Queen to be the case, and it pains me to reveal that this doesn't actually happen. I'm sorry. I'm proud of all my subscribers from England though, who played along with it and shared their stories of what their encounter with the Queen was like. For a moment I wondered if I should lie about it in this video as well, thus leading to another potential follow-up video and yet more money. But there is a limit. You don't meet the Queen, you don't get free money, but yes, the money in England has been slowly updated to a new plasticky finish in the last few years. It's here that I got into a fist fight with the Queen's Guard. They're the ones with the silly hats. But although they look silly, they are also exceptionally highly trained, fearsome warriors who will stop at nothing to protect the royal family. Yes, these soldiers with the silly hats are proper soldiers selected from various divisions from across the UK. Since they represent something important and do their job well, they are often the target for hilarious pranks from idiots and rude tourists. But luckily they give as good as they get. Just search YouTube for Queen's Guard attacks tourists to see them stomping, shouting and pushing people who cross the line. Big Ben. This is also a place where stuff happens sometimes. It's undergone a facelift recently to feature a new coronavirus threat level indicator. Big Ben did undergo a facelift a few years ago, but it wasn't to install a coronavirus threat level indicator. It was instead to change the colours to an older, more traditional look, as well as to repair and to restore its inner workings and to make it more energy efficient. While this was underway, it was stopped to keep those working on it safe and sane. Fun fact, 39 million tonnes of sewage enters this river every year. That's more than a tonne every second. This bit of the video is more true than you might want it to be. 39 million tonnes of raw sewage does overflow into the Thames every year, and that does work out at more than a tonne every second. The sewage system in the city was designed 150 years ago, and although for its time it was incredibly advanced and future-proof, it can't keep up with modern requirements, and so a new super sewer is being built to improve things. Despite the river sounding dirty as hell, it has improved a lot and is now horrifyingly considered to be one of the cleanest rivers in the world passing through a major city, having gone from biologically dead to home to all sorts of fish and plant life in just over half a century. Another fun fact, more than half of Londoners would happily swim in it. Well, I don't know about happily, I don't think we're that patriotic, but a recent survey claimed that 55% of Londoners believed that at least part of the Thames River was clean enough to swim in. People do swim in it, but have been known to get ill soon afterwards. Next, I popped over the river to the London Eye. Built in 1999, this landmark is 20 metres taller than the tallest tree in the world. To commemorate the 60th anniversary of the Queen's coronation, one of these pods was renamed to the Coronation Capsule, and the Queen herself was there to unveil its plaque. But what most people don't know is she actually turned out to be an imposter. Yep, all this is true, but I perhaps worded the bit about the imposter Queen a little bit misleadingly. She was just a lookalike, but people were probably aware of that. An upscaled version of this lookalike was used on my original video's thumbnail, next to a question mark, which I think was rather apt given the circumstances. The Shard. Fun fact, in the name of national pride, at least one French climber has been banned from going near this building. Yes, the Shard is the 6th tallest building in Europe and the tallest in England, and the famous French building climber, Alain Robert, has been banned from going inside or up it. If you don't know about him already, then you need to Google him right now. He's climbed dozens of the world's tallest buildings, a lot of the time without safety gear of any sort. He was spotted eyeing up the Shard, at which point the building's owners were like, no, we don't want this health and safety nightmare anywhere near the building, and so filed an injunction against him. I don't know if this will stop him though. He's regularly arrested during and after such stunts. But despite all that, I don't think anybody in the world could hate him because he is really cool. For a French person. Apparently, a climber did climb the Shard last year. After George King Thompson spent 12 weeks in prison for performing the stunt, he was released and was met by the famous French climber whose name I won't butcher again. Here's Tower Bridge. For some reason, this one brings out the daredevil in everyone. People have flown planes through it. Flocks of sheep have been herded over it. People have climbed it, but no French people that I'm aware of. And a few decades ago, as the drawbridge was going up, President Bill Clinton's vehicle performed a daring jump to clear the gap in the middle. Most of that is true. Planes have flown through it, and somebody did herd a few sheep over it recently to exercise an ancient right to do so, and also to protest how older citizens have been having their rights eroded. In fact, doing this seems to be a more common occurrence than I thought it would be. Even Stephen Fry's been seen walking over bridges in London with a sheep. A dad dressed as Spider-Man did climb it to protest the fewer rights that fathers have to see their children than mothers do, and the bit about Bill Clinton is sort of half true. The bridge opened and divided the American convoy in two, and while I like to think that those left behind just leapt the gap, they just stopped and waited for the bridge to close and thus open again. Apparently, this all happened due to a breakdown of communication where the American embassy failed to pick up the phone. I then headed over to the Golden Jubilee Bridge. It gets its name from winning the Jubilee Bridge building competition, which was hosted to commemorate the Queen's 50th year in power, narrowly beating out this bridge in Manchester, which got silver prize. The Golden Jubilee Bridge is named that because it commemorates the 50th anniversary of the Queen's accession, and the Silver Jubilee Bridge was named that not because it came second place, but to commemorate the 25th anniversary. And if you must know, it's situated somewhere between Manchester and Liverpool. I drove past the Tower of London just here, which was built almost 1,000 years ago. It's now where the crown jewels are kept, among them the 800-year-old coronation spoon. Yes, the bit about the spoon is true. Look, here's a picture of it. When researching the first video, I did worry that my search history might have indicated that I wanted to terrorise London by stealing this spoon, especially after the first video triggered a Google search trend for it. But rest assured, any detective stalking me who stumbled upon this video, I don't want the spoon. Well, I do, but not that much. This one here is known as the cheese grater. Fun fact, The Rock currently holds the record for the fastest descent of this building, dropping 40 floors in just 64 seconds. This building is known as the cheese grater, and I'm proud of this fun little fact, even if it isn't strictly true. It comes from an action sequence in Fast and Furious where The Rock dives off one of the top floors of the building in the most impractical way imaginable, and does take 64 seconds to land on a parked car at the bottom. I timed it myself. As for why I was watching Hobbs and Shaw, I don't know. I kind of like it. And here is the Gherkin. Yes, it is known as the Gherkin. And this is the walkie-talkie building. It has a really nice sky garden observatory at the top. Its curved edge led to the sun's rays being concentrated into a beam that would fry parked cars a few roads away with temperatures greater than 100 degrees. And that's Celsius, where water boils at 100 of them. For the Americans among you, it got up to 243 degrees Fahrenheit. When the architect was asked why he had constructed a death ray, again, he blamed global warming. All true. The architect was behind this building in Vegas, which suffered from the same thing. When asked why the walkie-talkie building had a death ray, he said, "When I first came to London years ago, it wasn't like this. Now you have all these sunny days," suggesting that global warming was to blame. As well as the death ray, this building also transformed the streets around it into a wind tunnel, and it won the Carbuncle Prize for being the worst new building in the UK, where I quote, "It is a challenge finding anyone who has something positive to say about this building." Still, it helped with a great 2clicks Philip video, so there is that. Here's St Paul's Cathedral. I wish I could say it's the biggest or tallest in the world in some way, but it isn't either, not even in England. But it did survive the Blitz in World War II, and here's a cool picture of it. Yes, all this is true as well, and so is the bit about number 10 Downing Street. But as far as I'm aware, trying to escape from the city doesn't result in you blacking out and returning from whence you came. I hope this has cleared up some of the misinformation, and I'm sorry to all of my English followers for revealing the truth about the meeting with the Queen in my first video. Hopefully with this video, it'll make foreigners doubt the tradition's existence again.